I literally looking at the logo, I was like, I started to post I started to create the t-shirts and hoodies for the merch, and I was like, man, I gotta talk to him first, and I never had the chance today because we were shooting.
Oh man,
but I'm
do
like,
it. Pull the trigger on that.
Well, we need to discuss some business first.
We gotta get some things. We gotta cross some T's and dot some I's.
Jesus. Because my thing is, of course, everything's 50-50, but I don't want it to be on my merch site because then it's like, oh man, I have to literally go in each month and be like, okay, how
what
many
I gotta talk
sell?
to this, right,
and then let's break the.
Or we could do it to where we both sell it on our own.
Okay,
I'm down with that.
Okay,
I gotta start having some merch anyway. This will be the only selection in the Doughboy line,
and that's what.
And so that'll be the thing, and then you could just put it along with your other stuff. But I can see this on a mug.
Yeah,
I mean, shout out to what is the artist's name that did this?
Oh, this is Scott Fuzzy Joseph. This is my friend. He is an talented artist, man. And let me tell you the funny thing about. Well, we're gonna talk about this.
We're gonna talk about it. Okay, but let's let before we okay. What is this and who are we?
Well, first and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Just Us League podcast with CT and Doughboy. I happen to be CT,
and I happen to be Doughboy.
That's crazy. I thought that was you.
But as you know, with this show, a lot of times I have this thing that I like to do, and we had a little mishap last week. We had our first swing and a miss, and I put a lot of thought into this, so I think that I'm ready. Are you ready?
Alert.
Are you ready for the new nickname alert?
Yes.
Dostradamus. Do you know why they call me Dostradamus?
Wait, let me take it in.
The prophet Dostradamus. The prophet Dostradamus.
Okay. Why do they call you Dostradamus?
Because I predict in the year 3021, bitches still ain't gonna be shit. Because they wasn't in 1921.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are not the views and opinions.
We brought it back. I had to run this past my girl 3-4 times. Like, see, we had to figure it out. I was like, babe, I can't strike out twice in a row.
Oh, my God.
It was a whole thing all week.
Since you said that, I mean, we got so much to talk. Okay, so let's back up.
Let's back it up.
Well,
so
before
we can bring it
why
forward.
are you drinking a Diet Coke? And you just said you were swearing off Diet Coke.
Okay, this is the thing. As a man of girth.
Okay.
In my entire life. So, as a man of girth, there's not many things that I can do that are satiating to my palate.
I'm
with the words today. Yes. So, I like soda, you know what I'm saying? But, it makes you fat. So, I'm like, well, give me diet soda. And somehow they made the diet soda worse than regular soda. It can give you cancer. It can do a bunch of other shit. But I like it, so I'm going to just drink that shit, and it's better than Hennessy.
So, first of all.
I'm a recovered alcoholic.
I mean, what are we talking? You're absolutely right. All right. I love that you said that soda is bad. So you said, I'm going to get diet
Absolutely. And it's why would they do that? Why would you make soda, which is already trash, and then try to give people a healthy alternative, which is actually worse for them than the shit that you giving them in the first place?
Well, yeah, I'm also a Pepsi guy, by the way.
Like, you're a Pepsi dude?
Coke is cool, but Pepsi, well.
Diet Pepsi sucks.
What?
Matter of fact, Pepsi sucks.
How dare you talk about Pepsi?
How dare you beat Pepsi? You're Team Pepsi?
I am Team Pepsi. I already got the blue on, okay? You understand me? I love Pepsi.
What shade of blue? What hue blue is that?
This is Dodger blue.
Dodger blue. And
perhaps even if you're an LA native, I don't even want to go there type of blue. So, yeah.
It just said, tell me a little bit about the shirt, okay?
So this
product
is,
of a black woman.
I am a product of black woman wisdom.
All I seen was black women. I was like, okay, 'cause I just seen black. I was just like,
you
all right,
support me in my journey?
You want to talk?
No, on my site, man, I definitely highlight, and I'm a protector of black women, man.
Absolutely.
So I always want to showcase them. And yes, to the men who are watching, I'm a product of a black man wisdom, because a lot of dudes, I don't know why men won't let women get their props sometimes.
Why? It's weird.
You ain't got no daddy. You showing love to women. They're like,
you're disrespectful.
Can we just show love?
Like, you have a mama too, right?
I ain't the one with the shirt on. Okay.
Well, let me ask you this because I'm definitely going to cop one of those. I'll be supporting my friends, but tell me one nugget of black woman wisdom you might have gotten along these years, like that you might have picked up.
Well, first of all, I can give you millions, but I'm gonna start with one that popped in my head. My mother always told me, they make rules for them and laws for us.
Ooh, say that one more time.
She said.
Okay.
They make rules for them and laws for us.
I've never even heard that one. I'm taking that into my vocabulary. I like that.
You know why you gonna take it? Because you do that. Oh my God.
I take little things from people all the time. There was something that you had said in a sketch one time, and you had just basically said, "Oh, we're gonna talk about it." I went on with that for years. People thought it was my whole thing. So,
bro, let me give you this. I remember, you formed a company.
I knew you were gonna.
You formed a.
Let's tell this. I'm disrespectful to Penny in the worst of ways. So let's tell the story. So this ties into the story that we told one of the first episodes about how you helped me get the audition for Wildin' Out.
Okay,
So this is the reason why we were beefing and weren't talking.
So this is what, man, we fell out so many times. And every time we fell out, ladies and gentlemen, was Doughboy's fault because I was always trying to help him. And he was just like, oh my God. You're the reason I hate Mikey Winfield.
What?
First of all, I love Mikey Winfield. He's hilarious. He's
you
the
have
hero
to tell that
basically.
story now. You got to give that context. But wait, back to the
let me
original.
focus because you'll say something and it'll trigger something else.
So
and
we'll put attack in Mikey Winfield. But back to how we were beefing when I stole your company name.
I didn't form a company. It was just a catchphrase. So at the time, Doughboy and I are just like, I'm in his apartment every day. We are laughing,
kicking it
from like noon until 9 p.m. It was like a job of laughing.
It really was.
Every day, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm over there and I just start saying, you wild as hell.
Let's be clear. That had always been something you had been saying.
Yes,
You wild as hell. That was just your coin phrase.
It was, you know what I mean? So Doughboy, of course, you hang around somebody enough, y'all start sounding alike, right? So Doughboy starts saying you wild as hell. I'm like, I ain't tripping, this Doughboy, right?
Cool.
He did a sketch with Teddy Ray. This is when you were still a really big guy.
Right.
Y'all had done a race. Mm-hmm. You guys were racing each other. And speaking of which, when y'all ran, a lot of people don't know, when people are really large and you run, it's a lot of momentum to slow down.
Absolutely.
It's
to start up and to slow down.
Oh my God. Because you had got rolling and you were like, as soon as it was time to stop, you were like, and it was hilarious. So as the sketch popped up, because I was there when y'all filmed it.
Yes, you were in the sketch.
I was in it. So at the
nigga didn't tell you what he did. I ain't shit as a. Okay, but let's paint this the right way. I invite him to be in the sketch, write the sketch. He stars in the sketch, but don't tell him that I use his catchphrase slogan as a company name.
Jeez Louise. So the sketch airs. I'm like, oh, this is about to be dope. I see it on YouTube. And the first thing that it says is, this is a You Wild as Hell production. I say, what? I call him immediately.
What is this?
I say, hey, Doughboy, man. He say, what's up? I'm like, I say, don't ask me what's up when you know what's up, Doughboy. I say, Doughboy, you named a company after one of my catchphrases? And he's like, well, it's like both of ours. I'm like,
you heard me say it.
You heard me? So, ladies and gentlemen, Doughboy is a catchphrase thief. I'll give you another one you stole you tried to sneak in.
What?
Not of mine, but this is a joke.
What?
So we hanging out one day, and Doughboy, I'm like, what's up, man? And we were talking about something, and you were like, that's peace. He said, that's peace. I said,
the messed up part, but before the messed up part is in my mind, I was like, I can't wait to hit niggas with this new lingo. You ain't gonna be ready for this. So I slid it in at the perfect time.
It was perfect.
And you had said something. I'm like, yeah. That's peace. And I'm just thinking you gonna let it rock. The nigga said, whoa.
What was that?
What? And then I tried to go.
Like, oh, nah, you know what I'm saying? It's just, that's what I'm gonna start saying now. That's peace. I'm like, that. No. I literally said, who did you get that from? And he was like, oh man, I was at a poetry slam. I was at a poetry slam this weekend. I ain't figured nobody would notice.
You are the king card puller in these streets.
I will pull somebody's card, bro.
King Card Pull is your new nickname. King Card Pull.
Bro.
That's a t-shirt. And have you just pulling a card out of a deck like King Card Pull. That's a sketch.
It is. I was
King Card Pull.
I wish you had said it earlier when the cameraman was there.
Side note, there was a lot of comedic gold when the cameras was off today.
Oh my God.
Turn them on, like,
it was like, as soon as we be like, and cut, it's like, giggle.
Turn the cameras back on.
These sketches are going to be terrible.
We shot a lot of, we missed, we got the story. We covered everything. Okay, so
No, Mikey Winfield.
Oh, yes. Talk about how Mikey Winfield became a villain.
How I hate Mikey Winfield because of you. So, again, these are jokes. I love Mikey Winfield.
Shout out to Mikey.
So, Doughboy at this time, and I've told you guys stories before about how I'd be like, yo, Doughboy, come open up for me in this spot. Mm-hmm. And these weren't like theaters or arenas. This is like, I'm about to make $200.
I get you 2 drink tickets. You know, you're like that. Your booze bag. Come on.
Your booze bag. I'm like, yo, I'm making 200. You gonna make 100. Let's go, right? So Doe would be like, all right, cool. And Doughboy is the king of changing plans at the last
That's
minute.
Why you got so upset earlier.
Oh my
I couldn't
God.
figure it out for the life of me.
And we're going to get to that after this. Oh, Doughboy. We got so much to unpack. So Doughboy, so the show was on a Wednesday. I remember this. So, and also Doughboy, we all were broke. Doughboy was in the crib, bored on the regular, because we all were. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yo, come do the show.
And I was asking for the gigs at the time.
Bro.
So this was the time, I think Kiara was there, and I was staying in the house. I was like, bro, I got to get back out. You got to, come on, CT. Yes. You're supposed to be my big bro.
Come on.
Hook me up. Right,
if you got any shows coming up.
I'm here for that.
I'm ready, right? So I'm like, all right, I got you, bro. I get the show. He says he's down. Wednesday afternoon. It's going to take us 4 hours to drive.
Because it was in Barstow or something random.
It was San Miguel, which is
don't even register on most maps.
I completely understand. So I call him. I'm like, we got to leave at 2, to get there early enough for us to rest and perform.
Now this is day of.
This is day.
It's not day before, week before. This is day of show.
Day of.
God, I shit.
Doughboy calls me. Now, this is what I will give you. You will call and say it. You don't let nobody find you.
You're going to hear from me first.
You're going to hear from me. Doughboy calls and say, hey, what's up, boy? He's like, hey, man, so Mikey is in town. He's doing a set at the Improv, and he said he want me to come write some tags. So I'm going to just roll with him. But I'm going to catch you next time, bro. I say,
have a good show.
I say, what is it? He's like, no. Mikey. I was like, don't ask me if I know Mikey. I know who Mikey is. Yeah, Mikey doing the Improv. And you repeat it.
He's doing the Improv. Tag jokes.
He want the jokes tag.
Not getting paid, but
I ain't getting no bread, but it's Mikey. So I'm gonna go do that. But hey man, go kill it, bro. And next time, and hangs up. I'm like,
I ain't shit for that.
He didn't just do that, bro. So in that moment, I think you canceled on me like 4 times for Mikey, and by the 3rd time, I was like, man, fuck Mikey Winfield.
I remember you guys, fuck this nigga Mikey Winfield. Don't tell me shit about no Mikey Winfield.
And Mikey, if y'all,
he's an amazing guy.
He's the nicest guy on the planet. Like if you get a chance to meet Mikey Winfield, never a bad thing to say about him.
Super hilarious.
He's so funny. He's a family man.
Yes.
And I said, fuck Mikey Winfield.
Don't tell me shit.
And I called him because they're all from Sacramento. Right. And I was like, oh, here it is, the hero of Bay City. So every time I see him, he be like, hey, what's up, CT? I'm like,
motherfucker. You motherfucker.
Now today, so this is.
Let's talk about this, because this was okay.
Yeah.
Let me intro this.
Go ahead, please.
So, see, okay, now I'm going to tell the full, complete story so you can see how I feel.
Okay, cool.
So let's take it back to circa last night. Around 11:36 p.m.
Circa when it's a day. Go ahead.
So last night around 11:36 p.m. text come in. Hey, what's up, boy? You know what I'm saying? I'm shooting tomorrow. Yeah. Now, mind you, normally when CT will ask me to be in one of his productions, I usually get at least a few days, maybe a week, but he calls me the night before. Now, anybody that knows me knows I hate doing things on Sunday. I hate working on Sunday. We were supposed to shoot this yesterday, but there were some COVID restrictions. We couldn't get it done. Yeah. So I wanted to say no, but I'm like, because you're my friend, and just outside of that, I'm just like, okay, I don't really want to, but this is my nigga, so I'm going to just do it, and I'm going to go.
Nice.
So cool. So then I go to the show, mind you, and I had a 10 o'clock meeting before the show.
Okay.
We were shooting at 12. Uh-huh. Okay, cool. So get to you, 12. We shoot from about 12 to about 5-ish. Now, you also asked me.
It was 4-ish.
Okay.
Keep going.
You also asked me, could my lady hop in the sketches?
Yeah.
Like, hey, would Tony like to get in? I'm like, oh, check with her. She had some other plans. She had to do some shopping. She already had something planned with her sister.
Okay.
She's like, I would love to go. She was like, should I just cancel? I'm like, oh, I said your call. She was like, well, I don't want to flake. All right, cool. So she does that. Boom, 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 boom. So then we go shoot our thing. Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, you and I talk around 4:10.
Yeah.
Okay, after the shoot, you say, hey, Doe.
This is actually, after the shoot.
After the shoot.
Yeah.
So, Doughboy, hey, I know we're going to be going over to the place, Third Wheel Studio. Shout out to them. Do you want to just ride together? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll drive over to your house and I'll go with you. Cool. Boom. So then I send you a text. I go home. My girl was mad because she had missed the thing. She's like, oh, was it fun? I'm like, man, it was hella lit. Kamara was there. Everybody was there. It was so fun. I'm just jazzing it up. She's feeling a certain type of way because she didn't get to go. Plus, she like, you know what I'm saying? She hears so much good stuff about you. She's like, I want to be around CT. She's a fan. All right, cool. So she didn't get to go. So I'm telling her all the good things. So I said, you know what? I'm about to go shoot. You want to just come there? I'm thinking it ain't going to be a thing, but I'm also knowing you got to check with the people. So I'm like, do you want to go? She's like, oh, is it cool? I'm like, yeah, we'll go. Bop, 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 bop. So I send you a text.
Bop, 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 bop.
So I send you a text. Yo, wanted to know, is it cool that I bring old girl? She wants to come and watch the show. And if so, I'll just meet you up there. Now you go ahead and tell whatever you said and why you got so bent out of shape.
So, you going to throw the extra?
This nigga got mad.
I did not get mad.
Okay.
Let me tell you from my perspective. Mikey Winfield.
Is it something changed? Something changed.
Man, okay. Because anytime you confirm a plan with Doughboy, he always, like 9 out of 10 times, will text you right before and throw a wrench in whatever you thought was the plan. My thought was, man, we keep going to the studio and we live so far from it. Why don't we just ride together, right? I don't get a chance to kick it with Doughboy. As a matter of fact, the only time we really get to talk anymore is when we do this show. That's why we have so much fun doing it, right? Or, even shooting content, it's like, all right, we talk a little bit, but then go right to the content. So I'm like, cool, we got a plan. We're going to ride together, right? Doughboy.
So you had PTSD from this this time.
Right. So before this, Doe was like, I was like, yo, would your lady like to come hop in some sketches? Would that be cool with you? And he's like, oh, she got prior engagements. First of all, when somebody uses the term prior engagement,
I just be trying to sound professional, nigga.
That means that they either A, don't fuck with you.
That's not it.
Or B, they're saying some crazy phrase to
they had plans.
I'm sorry. She has prior engagements. I say, okay, cool, right? Fast forward, we make the plan to carpool. I'm gonna read the text.
And a text with your petty ass responded too.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna read everything. So Doughboy says, my girl wants to sit in and watch us shoot the podcast. In parentheses, you okay with that? Because that's how I took it. She said, and then said, if so, I'll meet you at the spot instead of carpool. Let me break down first what would have been cool. Hey, man, I know I said we would carpool, but my lady kind of wants to come now, too, because she felt like she missed out. Would it be cool if she rode with us as well and sat in on the podcast? I still would have said no. But
the no was coming regardless?
It was coming. But they going to kill you in the comments for saying irregardless, by the way. Anyway, so I respond and I say, thought she had prior engagements.
Stop it. That's the petty CT that I have known to come and love. He's so... I thought she had plans.
She had prior engagements. And then I said ellipses, and ellipses, those of you guys at home, are 3 dots before you throw
you named the 3 dots?
No, it's called an ellipses.
Really?
You write scripts. How do you not know what an ellipses is?
I always write 3 dots. I didn't know I had a name for it.
Yes, it's called an ellipses. It's like this. Like, say, for example, I went outside and ellipses.
Oh.
Boom. Like, that's what an ellipses is.
So that's what the ... is,
yes.
Equals ellipses.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I'm here to teach you.
Okay,
so I say ellipses, no. Just you and me, man. Let's be ourselves. Because when you're doing something like this, Doughboy is raw and uncut, just like I am. That's why I don't have Tangerine here.
Facts.
That's why I don't have her here for you, because we're able to be free. They're going to see the podcast, of course.
I'll probably be holding back a little bit.
You're going to be holding back, and I know this about you.
Saying all the politically correct shit in a relationship.
Then the episode going to be dry, because I'm going to look like
just a misogynist and an asshole. So threesomes, you really be talking. He talking about I should ask you like this.
And I said, nah, I don't want nobody but you, face ass. So then he responds back and says she was with her sister up until just now, which is why she couldn't come. And that's fine. No worries. And I'll just drive because I'll be moving around a bit up until we shoot. See you then. I say, Doughboy.
No, then you called me.
Because I knew this was about to be some bullshit, okay? Let me read the next part. I say, we had a plan. Why does it always get switched up? He responds and says, "We just set up the plan on a carpool just now." LOL, which there was no need for this damn LOL. Nobody.
I'm trying to cut the tension in the room.
He says, "None of our other plans changed. I'm moving around before, and may not be going straight home after, so I ain't want to make it a thing."
These were both lies.
I call them.
And there were 2 lies that didn't need to be told.
I knew
habitual liars don't even need to do that. Sometimes you just do it. And when you called me on it, you were just like, "Where you got to go?" I was just like, but
I'm not done.
There's more?
There's more. That was just the record of telling them. So I called Doughboy. I say, "Doughboy, where are you going before the show?" Well, nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got home and she was feeling like left out because, I ain't seen her all day and I wanted to spend a little time with her before the show. And I'm like, okay, cool. Where are you going after the show, Doughboy? Where we're filming, ladies and gentlemen, is so far away from our house.
It is.
He don't know nobody over here. And I know that.
I know who the nigga know.
I know who he knows.
And he don't know nobody over there. You better go with them niggas. That's a whole nother story.
It is. Okay, we'll go tell it. So I say, you don't have anywhere to go after the show. You don't have anywhere to go before the show. We could have still rode together. And he was like, all right, man. You're right. We'll ride together. I said, no, we're not riding together now.
Not.
We gonna meet there now, motherfucker. I just needed you to know that I know that you understand.
Why are you such a car pulling ass nigga? Why did you feel nigga, that is your new nickname for real. The ultimate car pulling ass nigga. Ultimate. And it felt so bad because I don't be having nothing to combat it with. But this is what I did come to the conclusion of.
Go ahead.
Sunday, I already don't be liking to do shit, right? And I just looked at it like this. Your house from me, about 17 minutes.
No, it is not.
It is. Because I don't get on the freeway. Think about it. It's just straight streets.
Well, wait a minute. Why are you not getting on the freeway?
Because it doesn't make more sense. Like from where I, it's a straight shot down that one street and then turn. It's much easier, but it's just much longer.
Doughboy, your home is dot. Okay, the freeway is right here, cat a corner to your crib. It's not even a full block,
and there is an exit right by your house.
Yes,
I think because I always used to drive to your house from my old house. Which is, you know what? I actually could. Okay, well, this is what in my mind what I thought. Okay, if it's 17 minutes to get there, and then hop in the car with him, and then come here, shoot it, then go back to his house, and then 17 minutes to get home, that's adding 34 minutes to your trip.
Because you're using horrible routes, Doughboy. All you have to do is take a 5-minute drive from your house to mine with the freeway.
So all I need to do is take off the bubble that says avoid highways on MapQuest? And I'm golden?
The fact that you have that on there. Oh, Doughboy.
This was a very long intro to get into this damn episode.
And we're not done. So what we just sang in the headphones, which y'all should know. Years ago, we would movie hop all the time. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Such a random story.
Such a random story. We have a friend, Chaz Rogers.
Shout out to Chaz Rogers, credible writer. Fighter too. He be fighting in the UFC.
Muay Thai. And he is producing on shows. He's producing on a show called Millennials. He's one of the head writers on my show Family Time, In the Cut with Bentley, Kyle Evans, all of these productions, so on and so forth. Right. Anyway, Chaz is like our brother. He's like a little brother to us. And one day, we went to the movies.
Movie hopping, when movie hopping was still a thing.
So movie hopping, they don't know what movie hopping
we some old niggas.
Is when...
This is before that selective seated bullshit you lung motherfuckers be doing. We used to go on that motherfucker. Remember how funny it used to be? Fuck the system. Okay, so we're there.
So we're there, and this is when you could go to a movie and stay all day. You'd be like, all right, this movie comes out at this time, this movie comes out at that time. We could see all three. Right. No assigned seats. You could just choose where you want to sit and sit there.
As long as you buy snacks, they ain't finna switch.
They not tripping, right? Never tripped on them. So me and Doughboy are always dressing like we might go to a comedy club after wherever we're going. Which means it's an audience going to see our clothes.
You got to stay camera ready in these streets. You understand me?
Chaz was wearing
the dustiest
white t-shirt with the most stretched out neckline.
It's like
neckline.
Like a nigga had talked to him like this. You gonna give me the goddamn money or you're gonna die next Thursday, you son of a bitch. Now beat it. And then hit him with a lit cigarette. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Catch your greasy ass.
You
scat you.
Scat you.
Chase the nigga with a broom. That's how his collar looked.
So the jokes that you just heard us say right now, we were hitting him with a million of them.
No, we said fuck the film. I don't even know what movie we were watching. The last 38 minutes was us roasting his shirt so bad. I had tears coming to the point where niggas, niggas is getting roasted way too much when they start saying shit like this. All right, man, y'all got me. No, nigga, we know we got you. Let us keep going. all right, man.
All right, no,
it ain't enough.
That's enough. That's a little bit.
We roasted that nigga for the last hour of that, and we said, like, why did your girl let you go out?
Why did your girl let you leave the house with a neckline on a shirt like that? Neckline was literally
over his
shoulder, bro.
Like chicks in the 80s where they used to put the sleeve over the shirt. Nigga was looking like Lisa.
And somebody should have took him home.
I see what you did.
Bro. So we say, yo, why didn't your girl stop you, right? And then he's just sitting there taking it. Best sport ever. And then we was like, man, you need to go home. Matter of fact, we gonna take you to the store right after this movie and get you a better shirt, right? And then I acted like his girl. I was just like, you better go with them niggas, Chance.
And then we made a whole song about it.
You better go. You better go. You better go with them niggas, Chance.
Go with them niggas, Chance.
And then we touched imaginary headphones. We're like, you better go.
Turn me up in the
headphones. 2K10 real spell.
Real spell. By the culture, by the Stacy, understands me?
Yeah. You better go.
Yo, we made up a whole scenario about this. Shout out to Chaz. He gave us great joy that day and today.
Legendary.
Well, you know who hasn't been having a lot of joy? Scat, you get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Shoot, you did. So, who hasn't been having the best of weekends? Let me just break this down to you what happened. Because I know you don't be following pop culture as much as I do, maybe. Okay, so you know the Migos, right? There's a rapper in there named Quavo, right? He has a girlfriend named Saweetie. Okay. They've been in a relationship about 2-3 years now.
Okay.
They broke up recently. But the way and the circumstances has the streets talking. I want to break down the various levels of this.
Okay.
Now, first, she was on a television show with her ex-boyfriend, which is P. Diddy's son. Which is really I'll Be Sure's son. I don't know. It's a whole thing. The light-skinned guy. Him. Okay. Cool. So he has a show. He's talking to her. And they basically ask her, would she be open to a threesome?
Okay.
At the time, she's still with Quavo. So she says, and her answer to it was, well, I'm paraphrasing, of course. I usually have dealt with men that are more cultured, this and that, blah, blah, blah. So if my nigga is doing the things that he's supposed to be doing and acting right, I will give my nigga the pleasure of picking the nigga that we have in the threesome. So let's just start there and unpack that. What's she out of pocket for that?
Well, here's the thing. I think that was said for a reaction of the audience, so the girls could be like, I know that's right. You better say that.
You better tell him.
Which is so bogus. It's
so
like,
let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
If your lady is in an interview and they ask her about a threesome and she was like, yeah, I'll let him pick the nigga, would you feel disrespected? Because I felt like he must have felt played.
Well, you also got to know, I'm a comedian. So the things that I'm disrespected by are things that a normal person, the things that a normal person is disrespected by, I might not be disrespected by because I'm going to see the humor in something, right?
Okay.
However, in the actuality that she tried to make that happen, like, hey, here's this guy that we're about to have a threesome with. It's like, did you forget who's W2?
Exactly. It just feels like, I just feel like my woman should know, even if that is your real answer, don't say that with a camera in your face. So, now let me tell you the rest of the story. So, shortly after this episode aired, so this is how like the news gets their news now. They seen that he unfollowed her and then she unfollowed him. Or vice versa, whatever. Then the next day, she hops online. I'm single. I checked out. Basically, I'm paraphrasing again. I checked out on this a long time ago.
You're paraphrasing a lot.
He cheated. Basically, he wasn't faithful. I'm out. So then now they're going back and forth saying different things about narratives. But then this is the thing that happens. Apparently, he had given her a Bentley.
Ooh.
And when they broke up, he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna need that back."
Did he give it to her, or did he allow her to drive it?
He gifted it to her. Okay. So this is what I want to break down. So first of all, would that be enough for you to end the relationship if your lady said that publicly? Like, I knew that there had to be more than it, but that was the first in this. So would you feel disrespect by that if your lady did that?
If she's in that interview gave that answer?
Yes.
Disrespected? No. I mean, Tangerine says way crazier stuff.
Okay, so it wouldn't be nothing. So definitely there was trouble in paradise here before this interview thing. Okay, so now in the event that you break up with a lady and you have given her a $250,000 car, would you take it back?
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to answer that, but my thing is, he didn't really give her the car if he's able to do that. You get what I'm saying? When you give somebody something like a vehicle,
right,
you're giving them the vehicle. Here, sign right here. This car is yours. Here's
Apparently
the title.
He was leasing it, and it was still in his name, but he had, so maybe you're right. He had given her.
Yeah.
So it's like, here, I'm giving it to you, but we don't have to do all the paperwork and put it in your name. So basically, he was just
letting her drive it. So I think that's the thing that people aren't focused on, because I can't, if I gave you a car right now and signed over the title, I can't take it back legally. Like, I literally cannot take it back. It's like I'm stealing your car.
Right.
But if it's my car and I've given it to you to drive just to say that it's yours, then it's still not yours. I can take it back.
So you're just saying, okay, so then let me ask you this. When relationships end,
the better question is, why didn't he give her a Bentley?
This thing, I mean, so him giving her that is wild. But let me just ask this. So in relationships, when they end, what are you taking back, if anything, that is of material?
My PlayStation.
Let me
that's
tell you,
all I need.
That's all you want back from it?
Bro, listen, I've been with Tangerine for 10 plus years.
Okay.
I want my PlayStation, and
that's all?
I mean, I came into this with nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we've built these things together, but the PlayStation is mine. Like, that's the only thing.
That's the only thing you want from this is just
she bought me this really big TV and a recliner and, different things. But I'm saying the only thing that I'm going to take is what I bought. If she's like, yo, don't forget your TV, then it's like, great. I doubt she would. But it's like,
right.
I don't really take now the things that I bought her.
For her. So let's so anything that you've given her. So and you don't have to go into detail with things you've gotten your lady, but is there anything that you would be like, I want that back? Because let me just get my take on it. My take on it is,
are you asking me a question, or are you just setting up yourself for the question for you to answer?
You answer your question.
Okay,
I'll come in.
I just wanted to know.
I did ask you a question. I did ask you a question and say, this is how I feel about
Jesus.
it. I'm ridiculous.
I mean, because
how do you feel about this? I'll tell you.
I'll tell you how we feel about this. For me, anything that I bought her is hers. I would feel like a true nut ass nigga to just be like, yo,
I want
here,
that back.
And I want that back.
Right.
I remember my mom told me a story that my dad did when they were together. Is my grandmother bought my mom a crock pot, right? And my mom and my dad got into an argument. Apparently, every time they would get in an argument, he would pack his stuff up and leave, right? And this is, fellas, get your own.
It's toxic as hell. I'm leaving.
Oh, you don't want to watch this TV show? I got to get my things, right? So God rest my father's soul. So he would, we laughed about this bullshit. Right. He would leave all the time because he's like, she ain't gonna kick me out. It's like, you just kicked yourself out. But he would take the crock pot that his mother bought for my mom with him, right?
Really?
And then he would go back to my grandma's house and she'd be like, hey, you can do all this stuff, but give her crock pot. I bought that for her. And then he would show up like, hey,
well, mom said I got to get his back.
And she was like, no, keep it. I don't want that, because if you're going to take some shit away from me,
I don't want it.
I don't want it. So to that point, I would never buy something for a Tangerine and take it back.
Right.
But that's me buying it for her.
Okay.
If I was to say, here, baby girl, I got my truck keys.
Now, okay, so let's put you in that position.
My truck.
So let's just say you had been leasing a $250,000 car. This whole time.
Now you're talking about leasing.
Because a lot of these niggas be lying. They ain't really getting the money. And Amigos ain't had a hit since.
We're not doing that.
I'm just saying. When was the last time they had a hit?
I'm not being a part of that.
Listen, I love the Migos. There's never no disrespect to the Migos.
Sounds about his business.
But I'm just saying, like, Quavo hasn't had a hit in a while. Offset, and I feel like Takeoff's finna take off from the group. I just set all that up just to say that. I don't even dislike the Migos, Cole. I just wanted to get the Takeoff joke in.
Here's the question. I'm glad that you said his name, because I didn't know who the third dude's name was. I was like, it's Offset.
The nigga Quavo, with the big eyes. Who's
because Quavo the Beyonce. And Offset is the Kelly Rowland. Who's the Michelle? Oh, it's Takeoff.
You called the nigga. Thank you. Come to the dark side and hate with me.
But I'm going to say that Quavo produces and writes a lot of records, and he features on a lot of joints. I think he has a lot of quiet money people don't know about. I'm not in the brother's pockets. I don't know him. Okay. My point is this. Because you are wild.
I'm just saying, maybe that Migo money ain't as long as you think if he's leasing.
My point is leasing. Now we're talking about leasing. When you're talking about leasing something, it's not yours. So when you have allowed somebody to use it, people are, I guess, taking it out of hand, and he took it back.
So you getting mad at him?
He's giving it back,
right? You getting mad at him for taking it back from her, but somebody let him use it. He got to give it back to them.
Hey, my dad said I got to get the bike back.
That's what this is.
It's kind of like both of ours, but we keep it.
So do you think if he had just bought it for her straight up, he'd even be asking for it back?
I think if he bought it for her, I don't think he would be asking for it back because but that's just us assuming.
Right.
But with a lease, it's nobody's. So he's probably
that was going to have to go back in 24 months regardless of your relationship status.
Now it's like, here, take this back, give me my money.
Right.
As opposed to let me keep paying on it for her.
Right.
And I'm not with her.
Right.
I think a lot of people just focus on the face value of this is a car he bought her instead of he was leasing this.
And I think it's a lot of bruised ego, too. I think on his behalf, he probably just is trying to, keep up appearances about it. And my opinion on it, I've never asked an ex back for nothing. Just if I give it to you, it's yours. I just feel like what do I look like asking you for it back? Like, what am I going to do with it?
I'll tell you what he was wrong about.
What?
And this is me judging his brother. He was wrong about the turnaround time.
That was really
the car
quick.
back. Come
was
on,
fast.
brother.
Like, cause 48 hours,
you
bro.
You couldn't have waited a month
your
for
ass
this to die down, brother.
Exactly. And that
unfollow. Oh, we call this dealership.
Roscoe, go pick it up. Because got him on speed now. Roscoe, go pick it up. He's just sitting over there. Oh, it's time.
All right, boy.
Well, let me ask you. I guess that leads to my final question about the whole situation. Do you think that relationships are harder to navigate when you're doing them in the public eye? Because personally, I always, and you and I have even talked about this, like I always struggle with how much I want to share about my my personal relationship because, not only am I face like, my fiance is she's getting into content. Yes, I called her my fiance. I'm gonna propose one day. She's a fiance. She's a fiance. Stop pulling niggas' cards all the time. You didn't even verbally do it. This card pulling ass nigga. I seen your eyes. Like, let it rock. I looked up to see your eyes.
Boy.
I want to propose to her.
I want you to be happy no matter what.
Okay.
You can't. She's gonna watch you can't call somebody something they're not.
But in my mind, she is.
Refer to me as the next president of the United States then, from now on.
No, because you don't have any aspirations to be that.
That's my point. Well, you have aspirations, but my point is this.
Right.
You haven't even proposed to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, y'all have talked about it, but you can't just go calling somebody your fiance.
Is it going to take like the allure out of it once we are actually...
It's going to take the allure out of it once you finally ask her this question.
And I've been referring to her as my fiance for the past 4 years.
Do you not think that that's how niggas in the hood have not gotten by for years? Oh, that's my queen right there. She's my wife. You're like, oh, cool, they break up. Hey, man, what about the divorce? We wouldn't never marry. Oh, my God.
Nigga, that was all word of mouth.
It was word of mouth.
But that's my thing. Like, I always find difficulty in navigating a relationship publicly. And so I don't be wanting to say too much. And then, like, when me and her be having our ups and downs, niggas hop up in her DMs, I ain't seen you post this, nigga, what up? So it's like people always know. So I do think that relationships, like, another relationship that I see always, another fellow Migo, Offset, like him and Cardi B be going through their shit. And like, I be rooting for them.
They have a child together.
Right. But I be rooting for them and wanting them to win. But I just be like, everybody be giving their 2 cents. So like, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that it's harder to be in a relationship in the public eye?
Well, yes, because you're in the public eye. I can't tell you if Tangerine and I were to break up, it's like there are going to be so many comments. Oh, hey, see, like trying to tag me in whatever she's doing or vice versa. Or if they see her with a guy or see me with a girl, it's like, oh, but da-da-da-da. It's like I already go through enough, and we're not going to break up, but I already go through enough BS of if I don't have a girl in my video that had been in my videos before. It's like, what happened to such and such? Or they'll go to her page. Hey, you're not rocking with CT no more? Like, she lives in Oregon now,
Let me ask
fam.
you this. Has this ever happened to you? Because you have substantially a bigger social media following than me. And this has happened to me on my scale. Have you ever had women hop into your woman's DMs hating on you and be lying?
What?
I've had women slide into Tony's DMs and be like, he's trash. And I'll be like, and I'm honest, I'll be like, well, who is? Let me see. I'll tell you who this person. I don't even know who the person is. And they will slide in my women's DMs and be like, he's full of shit. He's lying. Da da da. That's never happened to you.
Let me give you 2 responses.
Okay.
The first response is, to the answer to your question, has that ever happened to me? Because they've slid into my ladies' DMs. Mm-hmm. The first answer, I don't know. And you know why? Because I'm dealing with a grown-ass woman. Oh. And if a woman is already dismissing the bullshit, she's not letting it get to me. Mm-hmm. Just like vice versa, I wouldn't let something get to her. Mm-hmm. 2, I've never dealt with women that do stupid shit like that.
This dumb, ridiculous shit.
I literally can think back to women that I've dated, and all of them have had a level of class and respect that they would never. They're not messy, right? You have to think about the company of women and the company of men that women keep that keep up that type of bullshit, right?
Right.
Got into a scenario, Tangerine and I joke about this to this day. I had smashed this dude's lady, right? Oh. Now, I've never had a woman go into Tangerine's joint, to my knowledge, but I have had a man hit up Tangerine because I smashed his lady.
What type of sucker shit is that?
Brother.
That's a new level of simping.
Let me give you.
He slid in your woman's DMs to tell on you for what you did to his woman?
So he was with her, right? They were together. It was a serious relationship.
You hear this, Cole?
You hear this, Cole? Hey, Cole, this is crazy. So they were together, right? She made her choice to do what she wanted to do, live her life. I helped her
you
with that decision, right?
The
difference is, I don't really care what kind of relationship she had. I know what kind of relationship I have. I came to the crib, I was like, yeah, Tangerine. Tangerine.
Let me tell you about last Tuesday.
Let me tell you about the trip, right? So, of course, right when it happened, everything's cool. Months later, I guess she gets caught up, right?
He probably went through that phone, seen some things.
Perhaps. But again, not on me. My house is cool, right?
Right.
So
you over there eating peanut butter pancakes and such.
That's right. Ooh, baby, it's good peanut butter. So she then, so her man reaches out to Tangerine in a DM. He was like, hey, I just want to reach out to you and let you know that CT had been smashing my lady. And I felt that you should know about that. Wow. And her response to him was, what kind of bitch ass shit is this? Why don't you reach out to your lady? I already know about her. Right?
Jeez.
So his response was, oh, well, I ain't.
Oh, he had a response for that? He didn't go just away after that?
I ain't know you knew, you know what I'm saying? That's cool that y'all got that kind of relationship. You know, hey, tell him I ain't never, I saw the video. I ain't never seen her moan like that. I was like, what? First of all, no face, no case. Number 2, I'll say, what? Like, what kind of man goes to the woman? Like, my thing, and to this day, never reached out to me. Right. It's like, because, of course, my lady shut it down. They had already ended there or whatever. Right. And I wasn't the only one.
We made a couple calls to a couple of significant
I don't know what number I was on the list. But my point is, that was so girly to me, because that's what a lot of lower vibrational women do.
Right. And they say like, woman coming, woman, no woman. And see, that's the thing, and I want to address that, because I know when you said my woman's, a grown up, all this stuff.
She's an adult.
And I don't want to paint my lady as being immature, because I was on bullshit. I have had bullshit moments to whereas if somebody's sliding in there, like, you almost got to at least be like, well, is it true? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I know that that's dope that you're in a situation where anybody saying anything, that's bulletproof. I think I may have to work up to some years of trust for that, because I think of some of the bullshit I did. So if somebody would say something to her, she'd be like, nigga, did you? And I had to really be like, no, I did. I had to honestly say it. So,
well, I think it's not even about a buildup of anything. I think, and this goes back to the conversation I think we were having last week about your relationship. And, it's not my place. Right. But my thing is, you have to build. My relationship was private for so long, and the reason that we were so private was because we wanted to build a foundation that nobody could shake. Right. We were private because I didn't need people coming to her saying something crazy and she believed it. I needed her to know who I am as a man, right? And me to who she is as a woman.
Right.
So nobody could tell me anything about Tangerine. Nobody could tell her anything about me that she doesn't know.
How long did you guys keep it under wraps? Like how many years?
We were private for about 2 years.
Okay.
Like we dated and it was just us exclusively.
So you're just dealing with you two learning. I mean, let me CT know how to deal with you, Tangerine, vice versa, before we let the world in and give their 2 cents.
And it worked. It's like, and this is to go back to your point earlier, and always be honest about who you are to the people. When you say, I don't like sharing a lot of my private life to people, you're kind of already past that point because you've already been.
Niggas already know everything.
You've been honest about your addiction.
You've
been honest about being bipolar. You've cried on live.
I be crying through medication at the,
and
at
that's
the phone.
Fine. Nobody's judging that. I'm just telling you.
You want to come back and be like, I just want you to just like me for the arts. Nigga, what happened last night?
I see an empty bottle of E&J. What's that? Next subject. So it's like you know, and I think it's a beautiful thing to have that relationship with your fan base if you have it.
Right.
For me, I've always been very forthcoming that, hey, I ain't shit.
Do you embrace the I ain't shitness?
Yo, because I don't need anybody trying to make me this this person that would be above sliding into a DM.
Right.
Like, hey, look, fam.
It is what it is.
Come on, fam.
You seen them cakes?
Come on, okay?
So let me ask you this, because we talked about this, and we didn't even put this on the docket. And the hell with the docket. But I wanted to have this conversation with you because I really want to know your truthful answer and advice on this, because you're somebody that I actually respect in this space, and I respect your relationship as well and your marriage.
That's
so
very kind of you.
When I really am serious about getting married. Okay. I want to get married, and I want to marry Tonisha. Seriously. But when did you know?
Is that her first name?
Yeah, Tonisha. You didn't know that? What? What did you think Tony was short for? Antoinette?
I just thought it was like, really? Antoinette. First of all, she's a beautiful girl. You guys are very lucky to have each other.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people be like, man, you lucky to have her, or the girl is fine and the guy not. Be like, oh man, he lucky. It's like, I don't know.
We both with it.
You guys are both very lucky to have each other. Right. The name though, it's like.
Like the name Tonisha?
Her name doesn't match her face.
Really?
Yeah.
What does her face look like?
Her face looks like a Rebecca, a Brittany.
You're telling me Tony has a Rebecca face?
Beautiful face.
Wow.
You know she doesn't have a face?
What?
A Tonisha. Tonisha.
You don't like her name?
Yeah. Tonisha makes you feel like, I got something on me.
Maybe that's why she go
I need to get some pills. That's why she call herself Tony.
She got sick with this my 3rd grade. Call me Tony, bitch.
Yeah,
that's how she talking to her teacher?
Tony, bitch.
So how do I know when you knew that Tangerine was your lady and you were going to be with her for the rest of your life? When did you know? Because I want to know. I want to know for sure. So when should a person know that this is the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with?
When you've had an argument to where you guys are like, man, we are going to kill each other. And you'd be like, man, something dope just happened to me. I want to talk to this person. When the good outweighs the bad, when a person is more important to you than anybody else, when you want to spend your time with that person, when you want to fight, when you want to argue, when you want to make something happen, like a trip or plan something.
Just
have your
any
family
level
around.
of life, you want that person
like
there.
think of every accomplishment you've ever had and that you want to have, who's there by your side when it comes to you being brought out of a dark place, who helped you get there or who was there with you when it was dark, people with stories to tell with you. Like me and Tangerine can reference when we had a conversation, we were so broke in 2011 because her account had gotten like garnished, right, for some crazy shit. And
shit got real.
It got real because at the time she was the only one making, a living, right? And we both were talking and she was like, yo, like, what would you think if I worked at this place? You know what I mean? Or it was like, for me, it's like, man, am I going to have to go get back to Detroit, or am I going to have to go get this?
Oh, it got real
job?
like that.
It got real.
Right.
And now God is so good. It's like we can reference that and be like, you remember that?
Y'all went through some shit.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that you have to go through a struggle with somebody, but somebody that you can see a journey having that person with you with.
Right. And that's where I came to the point. And I know when I said it to you earlier, I know it sounded like I said I was settling. I know that sounded like that because what I said was, look, I've seen what else is out there. I'm just kind of like, there's nothing out there for me. Like, you know what I mean? And I always kind of knew that I would come to that like I never thought like I think growing up, maybe like for the first 35 years of my life, I was like, oh, I'm looking for my soulmate. Then at some point I was like, I don't know if soulmates really exist like that. Can I just find a woman that can put up with me and I put up with her? That's really what I came up to. I was just like, I don't know if somebody's gonna love me all the time, like, or if there's just this one person I was just supposed to bump into randomly. But like with her, like I genuinely can't think about shit without her. Like when I start to think about shit, and we've gone through really tough, terrible shit. Like last year, we've talked in detail about how difficult last year was for me. And she was the one person that was there through everything. When I had everybody in my life bail on me, she was running to me. And I was just like, I don't like when you're at the bottom and you look around and she's the only person I can see. I'm like, when I get back to the top and I'm ascending to get there, I don't want to be around anybody else because, like, almost like how you said, like, I remember her being around me when it was dark and when it was fucked up. And that's just why, like, I be looking at these other motherfuckers, I just be like, one day it just hit me like, I just don't want to be with nobody else but her. And it was that simple. But I was just, I'm like, is this it? Because I've thought this before. Like, I've come a bunch of times, like, this is the one. So I guess, let me ask you this.
I never bet on you, by the way, but keep going.
Let me ask you this. The way that you feel about...
Everybody bet. I'm like, motherfucker.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, well, not you, but a lot of people in my life have bet on me. But let me ask you this. The feeling that you feel or felt at the time for when you were, like, knowing that was your woman for life, I just lost my whole train of thought. Cole, you just threw me off when you just did this.
Cole's a real son of a bitch.
But no, that's what I was asking you.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel that feeling with any other woman, or was it only independent to her?
Like
before, did you ever feel like this is the one and then something happened and it wasn't?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a type of person that I love hard. My first girlfriend was definitely somebody that I was like, oh, this is it, right? And I had never experienced anybody else on that level. And then my next girlfriend was a girl that I was like, we both laughed because we were like, we're not it for each other.
Y'all just said that to each other?
Yeah, but we enjoyed our time, but we were like, we're not going to end up together.
It's not going to go.
And then, Tangerine is that woman that it was like, I was like, man, I'm not ready, but I know she's the one. And if I don't act now, she's going to be somebody else's one. And for me, wow. I am selfish. I'm like, well, she got to take this L for a couple of years because I'm not ready. But I'm not about to let her be with somebody else and make them who I know she could create them to be or elevate them to be.
So you seen that in her a long time ago.
Yeah, she's amazing from day one.
And shout out to her, man. Shout out to you too. I think you guys are wonderful for each other. But like just knowing you for as long as I've known you and seeing your progression and how much doper your life has been as you and her have, done your union. I be saluting that. Like, man, I low key be looking like I wish I could have my woman do for me what Tange did in CT's life.
Oh, she's literally
because I feel like you were just like raw, like it's just kind of like just put it all together, like boom, and like I'm not saying that you didn't have anything to do with it.
Clearly, I'm the talent,
absolutely. But she helped structure
molded,
it.
Do this, don't do that. This is the way.
Right.
This is how this happens. If you want, you could, and it was like, oh, great, right? Because otherwise, like you said, it's like all of this talent and possibility is doing this without somebody to just be like,
help gel it.
There we go. Now take it there and then do this.
That's
so
dope,
and not to say that another woman couldn't have, but not another woman could have done that with me.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, you got to find a person that's for you. Like Tangerine is great for me.
And that's what I think
would be a headache for somebody else.
Absolutely. That's what I think Tonisha is for me too. I'll be calling her because nobody else calls her Tonisha, but that's what I think she is for me, man. She's just.
What's another nickname you got, boy?
Wow, man. That's that. I mean, sometimes when I get mad at her, I call her Tonisha Chantel. Well, and then I'll put my last name in hers, and we ain't even married yet. But
I like the Chantel.
You like Chantel better?
She also looks like a Chantel.
Right. Well, but in her defense, Tonisha is on none of her social handles.
Meanwhile,
Chantel speaks.
Meanwhile, I'm saying all of this, and my wife's name is Tangerine. So
that's what I kept saying.
No, I'm saying
exactly.
We're talking about names.
Somebody who's got a whole lot of nerve. This has been fun, man.
I don't call her Tangerine. I call her Tangerine when I'm like, listen.
What do you call her? Do you just call her babe?
I call her Tange, and now all of the fans start calling her Tange, and I'm like,
see.
But I also call her by her middle name from time to time, which I am not going to
What
say
is the middle name, man?
I'll tell you off camera.
Tell me off
camera.
camera.
If I tell you on camera, I might as well be like, all right, well, hey, I had a good run.
It's been real. Well, look, man, we had a bunch of other stuff on the docket we didn't get to. We'll save it for next week. But, man, this is
We always say that. We always say we're going to save it for next week.
But let me tell you this before we go, and I know Cole's giving us the look, but let me say this before we go. This might have been my favorite episode so far.
You
of
said
the Justice
that
League.
last week,
no,
and
because
I love
it's starting
that.
to like. I feel like it's gelling now. Like I had spent so much time away from this, and look at me, man. I'm looking like Omari Hardwick and shit, man.
That's Omari Hardwick. What you don't know is we drew Omari Hardwick.
Really?
Yeah, no, that's you, Doughboy.
I love the picture, man. Merch soon come. I have been Doughboy. Tell them who you've been,
ladies and gentlemen. It's CT.
And this has been another installment of the Justice League podcast. We'll see you guys next week.
We'll see you soon.
Peace.